especially with Allo 7. And I've really liked the kind of small group atmosphere. I feel like it's a lot more conducive to the kind of learning that I want to see in classrooms. You know, you get a lot of individual attention for each student, and I just find it very fulfilling. I live in Athens, Georgia. I have a 3-year-old who takes up a lot of my time, and I everything else you can. I think you've read my bio, and if not, there I think that's good for an introduction.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, move on. We're good.
No problem. No problem. Thank you, Ryan. So yeah, so Mr. Brasuel was teaching my child, my younger son was taught by you. Actually, it was my son who recommended, saying that because Ms. Pound can't teach in the fall anymore, and he said, okay, why don't you ask Mr. Brasuel? And both himself and my nephew, also you taught my nephew as well. So we both really enjoy your classes, and they're very impressed with your passion. And you really spend a lot of time preparing your classes. They were both very impressed. Yeah. So thank you for coming to.
Liam was so fun.
Yeah,
I had a blast.
I know. He learned a lot from you. Okay, thank you. And Ms. Thompson?
Hello, everybody. My name is Ms. Thompson. Talira is fine. Talira Thompson. It is a pleasure meeting you, finally, putting faces to names. I have been teaching for a little over 20 years. I am in my 20th year of teaching. I teach language arts. Thank you, Ryan. I teach language arts. Currently teach high school right now. I have had the pleasure of teaching all aspects of in the educational realm. I've taught elementary, I've taught middle school, high school, and college level, taught on the collegiate level. Currently with Haddee, I am teaching the fundamentals of reading and writing, and I am absolutely enjoying it. I love teaching the younger students. I love teaching high school and middle school as well, but it has been a while since I've taught elementary, and we laugh. I learn from these children. They're so impressionable that it's difficult to not be transparent with them. So I think the joy of teaching students, one of the joys of teaching these 4th grade students is that they are very transparent. And but I do have 2 adult children, still call them children, but they are 2 adults. I have 2 grandchildren, and I live in Florida. We are just living the life. We're blessed, and it's just a pleasure. It's a blessing for me to be teaching with Haddee as well. Hope to get to know you all better.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
You are welcome.
We shared your video of teaching the little kids. So cute. And I was very impressed because you were not only teaching them the language, but also logic analysis. You were teaching them cause and effect.
Yeah,
that was great. So yeah, we shared widely on YouTube. Yeah, so if you guys want to take a look at Ms. Thompson's teaching, go on our YouTube. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you. And Ms. Miano. Okay, go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Miano. Similar, if you want to try to pronounce my name, it's Miano Piano. And I am originally from New York, but I am a world traveler. So I'm currently living in Buenos Aires, and I've lived in London and Paris. I did my undergraduate studies in North Carolina, and then I did my master's degree in London. And shortly thereafter, I became a published author. And so I have written novels, short stories, but I've also done a lot of journalism and criticism, literary criticism, arts, cultural, travel, just a quite wide variety of articles for journals and as well as newspapers. So I have I have such a diversity of interests. But I have to say that, I also teach because I really enjoy it. And because I think the reason that I'm where I'm at, and, the reason that I've had these opportunities, what has brought me here, and has been these certain pivotal moments where, a teacher has come into my life. And I went through the public school system in America, and so just, at certain moments, and I remember vividly, like first grade, and then, my fourth grade teacher, my seventh grade teacher, my ninth grade teacher, my 11th grade teacher encouraged me and really supported me and pushed me in the direction, not just based on what they thought my talents were or my skills were, but also, they were open to talking with me about, where perhaps I had some weaknesses, and they encouraged me and they gave me direction that allowed me to really excel in school, so that I had, I achieved, so much. And I think it was, that they just kind of recognized I was that shy mouse, that, I was always really good at English, but I wasn't good in every subject, So, learning to apply, like how can you apply, your skills in writing, whether it be creative or critical, to all subjects. And so that's what I'm really interested in teaching, is how you can learn these skills, but also bring your own unique interests and background to these skills, so that you're communicating a message that is very unique to oneself. And that's what I enjoy doing, is engaging with students in a very personal one-on-one level. I mean, whether it be in a group setting or in a one-on-one tutoring setting, just to kind of recognize that and be aware of that. That's what I find most rewarding as a teacher.
Thank you, Ms. Miano. So just a very quick background. All three teachers associated with LO7, which is sister company. We hire thousands of global teachers, most of them are in America, to teach the students in China through schools, okay? And so Ms. Thompson actually did not teach for LO7, but Ms. Thompson's daughter, Ashley, works for us, has been teaching for us. And Ashley managed all the Instagram accounts for us as a social media manager as well. So now we have close to 1,500 followers on Haddee Instagram. And Ms. Miano has taught thousands of classes. So they all have we have the quality check, we have the stability number. All the teachers are really the top-notch 5-star teachers. So does Mr. Brasuel, okay? And thousands of classes with LO7. So, okay, so we should thank LO7. Without LO7, we won't be here today. So anyway, yeah. So Mr. Brasuel, you want to start talking about your classes now and the drill down for the middle grade, middle schools and high school students. Pretty much similar curriculum. Why would you like to offer to two different groups of students?
Okay, yeah. So like Dan mentioned, I'm offering to middle school and high school, but each it's like the same class, and I'm differentiating it up for the the higher grades, and keeping it on level for the middle schoolers. And it's mainly a focus on I like to think of it as how to write about literature. And this is really important because for the majority of English classes in high school, of course you're going to be looking at a lot of nonfiction, but especially in junior year, which is American literature, if you're in America, international students, it's going to be different. But the other standard for seniors is British literature. So you want your students to be prepared for not just reading it, but writing about it. And my whole perspective on writing about literature is to figure out the answer to the question, what is this writer's goal? You know, and I take a goal-oriented approach to analyzing literature, because if you think about what the writer wanted to do, you're also getting the students to think about, you know, not just the surface level things or the concrete things of a story. You're you know, you're going beyond the story and beyond the characters into the overall meaning of the work. And I chose this approach because, like I said, it gets students thinking on a higher level, you know, towards that meaning. But second, and most importantly, I think this is the mode that you have to be thinking in if you want to succeed on the AP literature and AP language exams. So I'm thinking of my courses as scaffolding students towards being able to succeed in those exams by thinking, okay, so what is the goal this writer is trying to achieve, and how do they achieve it? You know, what techniques do they use to achieve those goals? And these techniques fall under, you know, the category of literary terms, literary techniques, literary devices, and also rhetorical devices as well. And when we approach literature in this way, we you know, think of writing as, you know, a collection of tools that you can employ to really get your message across. And we'll be looking at a bunch of different genres, from you know, poems to short stories to novel excerpts to songs, you know, just a bunch of different genres, all starting with that building block, like foundation of understanding these devices, these techniques that authors use. And then once we understand those, looking at how they combine those techniques to form an overall message or an overall meaning.
That's great. Yeah, I never thought about it. I only read the stories, you read what the content, and barely thought about what's the goal of the authors. So thanks for teaching me. Okay. Yeah, this is great. So why middle school? I mean, high school AP Lit is very difficult. Okay. Try to get 5, you know, like really clap. It's very, very difficult to get 5. Okay. Yeah. So why middle school students?
So middle school students, I think, like, you know, you start them early. Even though the content of the AP test, and especially like the essay portions, which I'm, you know, gearing students towards, even though those are very difficult, starting to think about authors as having goals and techniques they use to achieve those goals lays the foundation for eventually moving into like a headspace where you can succeed on those AP tests. So, you know, the thing is, like, you know, something like a metaphor can be understood, you know, on a really complex level. You can write an entire essay about like a single metaphor in a novel, and it could be really long. But the flip side is also true. That same concept can be understood by younger students. And when we start smaller in, you know, shorter pieces, shorter texts, they build that foundation. And, you know, once we start with something small, we can get, like, in the context of metaphor, into extended metaphors, or symbols, which are similar to metaphors, but are developed through an entire novel or something like that. You know, so it's all about establishing those building blocks. So even though middle schoolers are years away from taking that AP test, it's, you know, we're establishing the language that we're going to use that's going to get them thinking about, you know, literature in the way that will help them succeed on those tests.
Okay, I see. We'll get back to you, okay? I have some general questions. Yeah, thank you. This is really good. So the materials would be different. Techniques would be the same, right? The reading material.
Right. Yeah, so, right, more age-appropriate texts for the younger students, and say more complicated. And, you know, I guess, like, I'm not pushing the boundaries of maturity by any sense of the means, but, or by any means, but, you know, just want to keep it age appropriate so it's interesting and relevant to, you know, older students in the older classes and younger students in the younger classes. So, yep.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Ms. Thompson, your class?
Yes,
yeah.
Well, I must say I am very passionate passionate about teaching. It is truly an honor for me as a teacher having a positive role in my students' development. Because teachers help mold children into future leaders and productive citizens, I find it quite rewarding to see that our young people actually blossom into entrepreneurs, and we actually get to see their contributions to our communities around the world. I mean, literally, I have seen past students grow into adults who are doctors now or professors now, and it just amazes me. Believe it or not, teachers, myself, and I'm sure I could speak for other teachers, we actually learn, we never stop learning, but we actually learn as we prepare lessons to teach our students. So I never go into a lesson with the attitude or pride thinking I know everything, because each and every time I teach a lesson, I'm always learning from my students. And that is a very humbling as well as rewarding situation to be in. What I do in my class of fourth graders is I prepare them for the next grade level or two. My class encourages as well as strengthens their social skills through student-teacher interaction. I don't just teach them by asking them questions and getting a robotic response. I actually like to take the time to have or engage in a conversation with them at times as we are asking and answering questions. My class helps broaden their vocabulary, and Dan, please stop me if I'm rambling on. It helps develop their writing skills. It helps improve their English speaking skills. Simple things, for instance, the first day of class, when I asked all of my students, how are you? All of them gave me, I'm good. And I had to give them this example, food is good. Are you food? And they just thought that was hilarious. So now they actually respond with, I am well. I said, you can either use I am fine or I am well. And they just sound so incredibly intelligent. I know it's very basic for us, but just to hear them now say, I am well, it just amazes me. They laugh and have fun while learning through games and educational activities. And I actually have them reading fiction and nonfiction short stories that have substance. In both genres, there are morals of the stories taught that are geared toward educating students about selflessness as well as careers. So that's basically what my class is all about.
That's great. Yeah, I observed a few of your classes. The kids are so cute.
They are adorable.
They're little, because my children are growing up. I'm just like, okay, they're so little. How can they sit in front? Yeah, I know there even younger kids are taking online classes, but I was like, the fourth graders, they're so little. How can they sit still? But they were sitting so still and interacting with you. So I was very impressed. Thank you.
Good.
We'll come back to your class. Thank
Okay.
you. And Miss Miano, so you have very two unique offerings, right? You have this critical writing and creative writing for the younger kids, the 5th and 6th, and then for the older kids. And tell us why you offer, when I said, can you do some work for Haddee, why those two classes? What's the benefit?
Well, because that's just what I specialize in. For the students, I mean, they're kind of they're very interactive. They cross each other basically. So as far as the creative writing, it's very difficult to put someone in, like, okay, well, you're in this grade level, so you belong in the introduction or you belong in the immersion. So there are two levels, and it's kind of like what Mr. Brasuel was saying, is that, they're very similar. It's just one, the advanced goes into a little bit more depth. And just a slight, like just raises the bar a little bit higher. As far as creative writing, I mean, for me, it's like, it's for people who are interested in taking their writing to another level. They like to read, and they love literature. I mean, they read Harry Potter and they don't know why they love it. And so we would go through, the basic building blocks of, genre, plot, character development, points of view, how to write description, how to write great dialogue, and how to set a scene. And then this will allow them to write any genre that's creative. So, I mean, it could be a screenplay, it could be poetry, it could be a novel, like, short stories and things like that. But not only that, it's really beneficial for students to bring that creativity to their own, like, essays, whether I can give an example from my own life, is that I was struggling with history when I was in high school, and it's not because I didn't love history. I loved history, but I just wasn't really good at memorizing dates and names and things like that. And so, my teacher pulled me aside and said, you're really smart, you're really clever, and I know you're a good writer. And, obviously you're struggling with some kind of performance anxiety when you get into the exam room, so why don't you close your eyes and imagine that you're in that period of time. If you close your eyes, imagine you're there, and then open your eyes and write the essay. And don't worry so much about dates and names and all those things. And that really helped me. So I think that learning creative writing is not only for artistic people, but it's also a great way to learn how to expand your own discipline area. If it's technical, if it's mathematical or scientific, because it allows you as a student to be able to activate that side of your creative brain, your imaginative and reflective thinking. It allows you to read with an understanding and articulate meanings and themes. It allows you to expand your vocabulary, your grammar, your sentence structure. And when you do actually do, your SATs and your ACTs, it actually helps you to think outside the box. And I like I always say that with the creative writing, with both the creative and critical writing courses that I will be teaching, we will read with a writerly eye. So it's kind of like what you said, Dan, that, you read, a lot of people they read for entertainment. They're on the beach, they read the book, oh, it's a page turner, it's exciting. And then they just, and this is about, okay, let's go beyond that, so let's learn how to read as we would be a writer. And it changes it, because it changes the way that we comprehend the work, and it also changes the way that we start to approach it with a creative eye, I guess. And so with the creative writing, it's about learning all of these fundamentals, but then going beyond that, because you can learn the principles, but let's think it through. Let's look at it in an open-minded way, and not just follow a set of principles. Even though that is helpful, we will learn all of those, we will study all of those things in my classes. But I do think that going beyond that and using your imagination is very effective in writing critically as well. So my two classes overlap in a certain way. As far as the critical courses, what the approach is that right now, what is so trendy and so hot and so actually, you know, successful, and where people really, like, for example, like I don't have any children, but my nieces and nephews, you know, they went to Berkeley, they went to UCLA, and they end up, they're world building for gaming. You know, they're writing blogs. They are you know, they're doing a lot of movie criticism or TV series criticism and things like that. It's so hot right now, and I would like to break all of that down, like, you know, so every student will have a different passion, right? And so let's take that passion, and I want, you know, I will teach them how to draw that out and to express their opinion. And, you know, so it starts with the passion, but then it can be broken down into understanding how to write critically. And so, you know, how to engage with the material, how to thoroughly research and understand a topic, you know, how to cite and reference your sources, how to concretely support your view, how to know your audience, because I mean, that's extremely important, whether you're writing creatively, whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction, you have to understand your audience. How to apply reflective practice that connects, you know, with your own personal experience, and how to use this towards a thesis or a project that you'll go on to do perhaps later on. And obviously, you know, applying it to the SATs and the ACTs, and with the aim of, you know, opening up all sorts of opportunities in what is basically become the, you know, the ways of writing these days is across a variety of media, and it's usually online, you know, or, you know, and I mean, so much of us have become, you know, digital nomads, and that seems to be the future of a lot of jobs, right? So that's basically, yes, that's the creative and critical aspects of my classes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Miano. I think this is good to delve into a quick introduction of Haddee, especially Haddee blogs. You know, a lot of students are taking advanced class with Ms. Pond this summer, and you guys are thoroughly enjoying it. And we offered internship for blog writer for our young students. And so blog is part of what Ms. Miano is going to teach, is teach you to review a product, or review a class, and review a restaurant. You guys, you know, some of you probably will eat out some street food, you love it. And so you can build, if you enjoy doing review. My older son likes food, and he cooks really well, and sometimes he does restaurant reviews, okay? It's good. He didn't take that into profession, but if he would, he would completely be a very, very good writer for food review, restaurant review. So I would take a minute just to show you guys what the blogs and what opportunity for our students. And here you go. So we have, and this is the old website, so the blog is complete right now, up to date. And so we have the blogs are written by some of the high school students, by our professional teachers. But if you go to our new website, you see, and this is, I believe, is written by our rising senior here, locally rising senior. So how the schools affecting, adapting after COVID-19. And we have, but this is a website that's not launched yet, okay? And also he wrote another one twice a week, right? Successful ways to cope with stress. And we have professional editor, and we also provide SEO. People ask, what is SEO? Search engine optimized word. So all this will be taught by Ms. Miano. So students who love writing, they can build a portfolio. And a lot of students do online presence. They do Instagram. You guys don't know. The parents probably don't know what the kids are doing on Instagram. But sometimes a lot of Instagram, they send this, that, could be hurting their future career, or, you know, college would sometimes would take a look at it, right? And so rather, I mean, I'm not saying stopping students from Instagramming, but with some conscious that if you can build also a very positive digital portfolio and to show you what you have done. And I think we provide that kind of platform to our students, younger students, high school students, many high school students and college students as well, okay? So that's what really delve into to what Ms. Miano been teaching. And I think it's a great idea because at Haddee, we have, you know, quite a few interns and, you know, working with them, they come with really good talent. They can do videos, but videos not enough. We say, hey, write a summary, write a description, and write a short story, right? And when some of our interns are professional authors, they already published books in high school. I said, write a book review. So we're gonna come out with a lot of students' products and give a platform for students to show their talents, okay? So that's one thing. And then this is, will be all transitioned to Haddee.com. And in a few days, this is our new website. A lot of you guys seen our old website, and you will see the course catalog. And I'm doing some testing here. So, and you can type in, do search, like, let's see, do writing classes. Some will be tagged, okay? Some classes will be tagged here. Say, this is Ms. Thompson's classes, okay? And then it's short, okay? Then you go to introduction, we talk about overview. They're all gonna be cleaned up a little bit, but you get the point, okay? So, and then, you know, in terms of, I was doing a testing. In terms of how you purchase, you can go to select your region and you can do RMB, CY, you know, Chinese yuan, and then you click the classes teacher and you click unit price, then you can book, okay? Once you book it, you have my classes will show up in the portfolio. My courses, you have your class record and you have your calendar. And the most beautiful thing, you're gonna have your discussion area. It's not 100% connected, but once you clicked it, you will go to our old, not old website, but your old forum, the forum that you're gonna collaborate with your teachers, and you see a lot of classes there, okay? So, and you have your order history, and most important, and it's fun, right? For students, you can apply to Haddee Ambassador. You share your referral, initial referral will get 10%, right? This is great for students. And you know, most parents, they don't probably particularly care too much about referral fee, but it's good amount for spending money for kids to learn how to social media marketing, share with their friends. Another skill, sales marketing being cultivated. You wanna apply, say yes. So in the back end, we'll approve it. And then all this, you know, spending money will come to your Haddee Bank once the class is completed. So yes, you refer that time, your friend bought, but it won't be deposited until the class is completed because we settle everything, right? So this is a brand new website. We have a team of engineers working on it. We're almost ready. We're gonna launch it tomorrow, and probably for public review, public sharing, booking classes will be coming Wednesday or Thursday timeframe. So anyway, that's basically sharing. Oh, the good part of it, when you purchase something, okay, show you a demo, and you're gonna love that. You purchase this, and you do this, and you book, right? And then you can say, who's the parent associated? A lot of parents already are Haddee, you know, user put there, and the parents can pay for you. Same for parent. You can link to the student's account. You can see multiple students' account. And then on the teacher side, the same thing. Everything will be, the course assignment, everything will be really organized, okay? So that's pretty much a quick sharing. So anyway, I talk a lot, so I will go back and let's open up the assignment topic. Mr. Brasuel, what's your opinion? You guys can have your own opinion, okay? That was just my opinion, okay?
Opinion on the relevancy of homework?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I'm of two minds because when you're writing, and especially learning to write like essays, and you know, especially when you're working towards that kind of like high school AP level essay, you know, sometimes you just have to spend some time reading and writing on your own, you know, and because a lot of students compose a different speeds, so sometimes students need to spend time on their own, going through it slowly and methodically. And I'm one of those slower writers, so I kind of sympathize with that. But at the same time, there are other students that will just completely just kind of like flawlessly empty their mind onto the page, right? And it happens really fast, And so back to whether like you want to do it at home or in class, I like the in-class model as well, because if you give students a chance to write in class, then especially we can get some shared screens going. We can see their composition process, and being in a classroom and being able to help students as they're writing, and also because writing is like just a bunch of like a continuous string of decisions, what to do next, what to explain further, do I need to cite something here, if students have access to a teacher that can help them as they're trying to decide what those decisions should be and what they should put on the page, then that's really, really helpful. So students in class will do a lot of in-class writing in my class, and then we can share it, we can talk about it, we can talk about what was effective and how they can improve and stuff like that. And so in-class writing is important. And since the final product will be an essay, we're not going to be writing a lot of essays, but we'll be writing parts of essays. We'll be working on introductions, so write an introduction if you're going to be working on this thesis statement, Anyway, so we take it piece by piece so that eventually they would be able to on their own put all the skills that they've kind of accumulated in this class together. So I would say that students will write an out of class like final portion, and I can use that as it's like they write this final thing they can take away from the class and be like, this is what I did, this is the fruit of my labor, but other than that, it will be in class writing.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions about that?
Anybody has a question? So yeah, we in the summer and in the spring, we kind of have a general guideline from Haddee. It's an hour for the homework. But getting into the fall usually kids get really busy. I don't know whether we want to impose. But I guess, it's really up to individual teachers' judgment. In the system, we have grading system, we have assignment, everything's built. It's an online school. So I don't want it just that because we have a grading and we have assignment to intimidate the student coming in 2 weeks that say, okay, I'm getting a C. And so I try to avoid that, but they do need to practice. So I will leave up to you guys for the homework. I understand that, but some, you will give some amount of homework, right? Would you like penalize them, or like how would you do if they miss it? That's the key question.
My general approach, especially when I was teaching in high school, would be to offer a lot of in-class time, so we could have that like one-on-one, to really workshop the writing process, and if they didn't finish, they ran out of time, they would finish it at home. But usually, I can kind of dial in on students' individual abilities, and that would help me gauge, how much time that they need in class. And for older students who can get it done really fast, we don't have to spend that much time on in-class writing. But for the younger students, maybe that can be a little longer. And I want to eventually offer just the right amount of time so they don't have to bring a lot, home. And whether or not, when we're talking about penalization, usually if I can get away with it, the penalty is, if they didn't do the reading, if they didn't do the writing, if they didn't finish it in class, and didn't finish it at home, then they wouldn't have anything to share or to talk about in the next class, and I like to think that the discussions that we have, especially when we get into some of this literature, they're fun, they're engaging. We talk about big ideas that maybe they didn't realize this part of literature was relevant to their life, but it is, and I guess missing out on being engaged with the group will hopefully motivate them to finish the work that they need to do.
That's really good. Oh, I love that approach. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Miss Thompson, your kids are little, very little.
Yes,
Currently,
they are.
We're going to launch more classes with you down the road, but for now, your students will be young. So what's your approach on assignment?
My approach on homework is it is necessary. However, at the same token, it's not necessary to overwhelm them with homework. My homework assignments generally could take them not more than 20 minutes to finish. I do not want to leave them feeling like they're always bogged down with work. I want to keep them excited about attending class. I don't want them to feel like after class, now they're still in class, because kids, all kids really, but especially the younger kids, their attention span isn't that long, and playtime to them is very important. So my reasons for giving homework is it gives me a good demonstration that they have prepared for the next lesson, because that's basically what it's for, so that when they come to class, they're not starting from scratch. I tell them, if you do your homework, we don't have to do so much during class. And if we don't have to do so much during class, we get to have game time or fun activity time. But if you don't do your homework, now I feel like I'm teaching you things that would extend our class time, and now we've run out of playtime, and they've learned that. One time they've learned that we had basically no time to play, and they didn't like that. And so following that, they have been getting their homework in for the most part. Providing homework to them also is a good demonstration of what they've learned in the previous class. It gives me an idea that they've actually been listening and they've actually been retaining that information. I've had students provide examples in a future assignment. For instance, let's say we learned about similes 2 classes ago, and now they have an assignment that has nothing to do with similes. However, he incorporated similes in his assignment that he was given in the future, and that really impressed me. So I had to praise him. I had to tell him in front of everyone else, how great of a job he did, and I could tell it made him feel really good. And he was just really overwhelmingly excited that I noticed that he used a simile. It's also reinforcements through their practice. I mean, it's discipline for compliance, because believe it or not, homework does not stop with education. We have homework. So as far as students being in compliance with completing homework assignments during their elementary, middle school, high school, and college years, they will be more accustomed to completing their homework during their careers. Okay. And basically, that's my idea of giving homework assignments.
Thank you. Thank you. Very refreshing. Very refreshing. Thank you. We have homework as well. That's good. Very good. Miss Miano, your perspective.
Okay. I'm on board with you, and then I really don't like to assign homework, because of what I'm teaching it's creative. It's critical writing. It's engaging with material that's very personal, and your personal response to that material or to your own personal life. I So what I like to do is, for creative writing, I give writing prompts. I always encourage, whether it's creative or critical writing, that, you have a little journal that you carry around with you at all times. And that's all you're assigned to do. Like, all you're assigned to do is to actively engage with the music that you hear, or the play that you, or the series that you watch, the music, the text that you read, the food that you eat. And that's for critical and creative writing. Write down, my homework is usually like, just write down a sentence that you overhear when you're in a cafe, like you're in Starbucks and, someone's talking on the phone, and you hear something that's interesting. That's kind of my homework. For the younger students. For the older students, I would like them to kind of focus on a project. But if it's completely natural to have a block, and to start on embark on something, and then not, maybe this isn't working out. So what my hope is that, as a writer, you have to commit some amount of time to put your butt in the chair and write. And it could be 5 minutes a day, it could be 10 minutes a day, but just commit to doing a regular schedule of writing. And you can privately put that in your journal. You don't have to share it with me, but if you want to share it with me, that's great. That's what we'll do. We'll break it down and we'll look at it, and hopefully going towards a goal of creating a project, a longer piece of work. The other thing that I assign my students as homework is to describe something. So go out, observe, ask people questions, listen to your grandparents' stories, listen to your, your ancestors who have gone through different things, like engage with other people and ask them questions. And, it sounds journalistic, but there's a huge crossover between, creative and critical writing. So observe things with all of your senses, and write that in your notebook. For me, that is like the homework, every week. Critical writing, active engagement with art, music, text, music, food. Sorry, I said music, food, anything that you're interested in, gaming, and that requires watching it several times. So you might not have a complete critique of that, but at least get started on it. That's what I think, and I'm willing to look at students' work that is incomplete, and help them to go in a direction. Okay, you've got you're kind of going on something here. There's something that there's a spark right here. I think this is the direction, this seems where your passion lies, that kind of thing. I just I kind of prompt, my students, but I do not require, I require something that's written, to come back, and I require that, you engage with your fellow students' work, with your peers' work. So read their work and be willing to comment on that. But other than that, I think it's, it's dependent on the student and what they are willing to do. And that varies, I mean, especially when we're talking about middle schoolers and high schoolers. I mean, they're on demand, they have a lot of work, and they're also moody. So, and we're moody too as adults. So, it just depends on how you feel in the week, I guess I'm kind of lenient as a teacher, but, I want them to at least try to engage, and, I want to see that effort, but I'm not a stickler, like, you have to do this and do that.
I got it. Yeah, I love your approach. You want your students to live a life and really pay attention to their existence and the surroundings. Yeah. You can unmute yourself.
I just try. Okay.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks for the three teacher and actually we are based in Guangzhou, China. My Angelina is my daughter's name. I'm
Okay.
Angelina's mom, and she just took Mr. Pont, right? Writing class, and I think she liked it, but she kind of hesitated to do the homework because I think that's a kind of challenge for her. We actually from grade 1 to grade 5th, we go to the bilingual language school here. So it's not kind of international school. We just transferred to the American International School, Guangzhou, last semester. And now she just go to the sixth grade. I feel like, okay, in the school, they have foreign teachers from America, and they're very good teachers. But they basically, I think they mostly pay attention to like encourage the students to reading, and they will tell stories to them, but they really don't, maybe, I don't know, not pay much attention to like ask the students to write. And like they never do the spell, and like my daughter always forgets to capitalize the first letter of each sentence. And now, okay, I'm worried. I know the writing is the most difficult part of any language, and that's the most important and most complicated. So I think that's very important for her. Angelina, she will definitely go to the United States to study after 2 or 3 years. So for this kind of student, she based in foreign country, I mean in China, and English is not her native language. So how to help this kind of students to improve their writing skills? What's the most important part that where you should put the most time to which section to help her to improve her writing skill? Okay, that's my question. Thank you. Maybe that's too general.
No,
May I respond? Yeah. May I respond to that, Daniel? Or?
I'll let you take over the question. Yeah, go ahead. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I mean, Angelina, like that's a brilliant question. I've taught many students from all levels, like from children to adults in all parts of the world, like in France, in England, in Italy, in Sweden, in Thailand and China. And I think, there is, this is something that I could actually help with a lot. I mean, I think, there's this, it depends, I mean, I am interested in, that's something that might be best for like one-on-one tutoring, and I think, that, I can tailor something that's specific to the student based, but, I understand that is such a challenge. I can't even imagine, but I do think that I could help with that if, yes.
Really appreciate it, yeah.
Yeah. So your student will fall with what Ms. Miano is going to offer. Yeah. So even though I think the skills are very unique, critical writing and creative writing, and some kids said, I'm going to study computer science. I don't need either of that. But in the end, it's all like your body. You need your heart and you need your liver, right? They're all connected. You can't say, okay, my heart is perfect. And, if something wrong with my liver, it's not going to impact him, but it's all connected. So that's what I'm saying. Even though there are two different courses, they require unique skills, but the vocabulary building, the sentences, capitalize it, complete the sentences, all building, but they're just a different interest. So anyway, that's great. Okay. Thank you, Angelina. Thank you, Xiajuan. Yeah, thank you. Now I know. Yeah, good. Yeah. So yeah, good to see you again. And any questions from any other parents and students? I see some young students here. You guys have any questions? I just want to clarify, students or parents are asking, what's the frequency of those classes? We have 3 seasons, the fall, the spring, the fall, or the spring, the summer, and the fall. So we're gonna start at the fall program enrollment, and majority of our classes is 16 sessions, once a week, okay, starting the beginning of September, around the end of December, once a week, okay? For emergency reasons, if like, you know, hurricanes knocking down, there's no power, the class will be automatically pushed out 1 week, but pretty much stick to the same schedule, okay? And the reason we want to do once a week is we don't want to overwhelm the students, because you have pianos, tennis, you want to play. So I think in the summer, yes, it's twice a week and packed within 8 weeks, okay? But some programs are shorter, will be 12 weeks, and some even shorter. We have eight weeks, like we have leadership classes. But right now, Mr. Brasuel, Ms. Thompson, and Ms. Miano, you all have 16 classes offering. Only 1 class for introduction by Ms. Miano will be 12 weeks, okay? Yeah, and we offer both all time zones. So we're gonna offer majority classes for North America will be 4, 5 p.m. West Coast, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. East Coast, okay? And all our teachers are in the East Coast time zone, okay? So we don't want it to teach too late, okay? And some of you will have, you know, go to the physical schools to teach in the morning as well, okay? And for Asia, we'll be offering classes early in the morning on the East Coast, like 8 a.m. will be 8 p.m. in China. And that's up to the teacher. Some teachers, some of you, I think all of you are willing to open up weekend time, the Saturday or some Sunday, 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week to offer. And currently, Ms. Miano has quite a few students in Asia. So Ms. Miano gets up really early and teaching every day early in the morning, and then you move on to teach other students in other parts of the world, and you start writing, right? You complete your 3rd book or 4th book?
5 a.m. this morning, Dana.
Oh, hats off to you. Thank you. Yeah, so that's, and all the classes will be booked through our website starting next week, okay? And that will be RMB through WeChat. It will be automatic. Once you pay, you will see classes in the upcoming courses. The teachers do require minimum number of students, and it's up to you. I think quite a few just say number 4 students you are willing to teach, okay? And because teachers are paid by time, and teaching 1 student, the cost to the students too high, and the time it's really it's very limited. You know, our teachers would like to teach a little bit bigger group, up to 4 to 8 students, okay? So if there's no 4 students and the parents all have the referral link, the ambassador link, please share, feel free, and saying, hey, your friends want to join and form a class. Once the class is formed, you will see everything, your calendar, everything's there, okay? So, and we've been testing it, and 8 students actually is a good number. There are interactions. A lot of the parents like one-on-one. One-on-one gets a little bit lonely. And now China, see, it's encouraging 3 kids now. And, you know, 2 are lonely, 1 is even lonelier. So anyway, okay. Questions?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I hope you don't mind I jump in. Like, you know, you can do, you know, with more students, you can do these breakout groups on Zoom, you know, so it's kind of like having stations in a classroom, you know, so if you have, you know, 6 to 8 students, you can have, you know, these breakout rooms that are like stations, you know, or tables within a classroom, which is really, can be really fun.
Yes. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. And some of the teachers, not all, will be willing to offer one-on-one. Our price is all standard for experienced teachers. We charge the same for all classes. We pay the same, everything. And we also have college student, top college from Berkeley, Stanford, tutoring AP Bio, AP Chem, and the college students pay scale and the charge scales two different. Completely different. So we do have 2 tiers, and all the teachers that we are here, they have classroom teaching experience. That's the most important, and they have more than 10 years, okay? A lot of them more than 10 years teaching experience. So anyway, we have selected to work with all of you because you have really demonstrated your teaching quality, and the most important, our students love you. That's the most important. So anyway, we're 10 minutes over. Any other questions?
Yes, hi, Dan.
Hi, Lina.
Yes, so I have a question for Ms. Mariano.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I'm currently an 8th grader now. So as I'm going to step into high school, there's going to be a lot of essay writing, and but still I am very interested in critical thinking writing, also creative writing. So I wonder how could these two courses combine to the knowledge of essay writing, or how can these being like to improve my essay writing skills? Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, you know, when it's one-on-one, I just tailor the course to the student in whatever you need. So absolutely, we can combine those two things. That for me would be wonderful. It just depends on, you know, what you're going for. So we can do some critical and some creative writing combined. Even if you take the creative writing immersion course that I offer, you are doing a critical component. You know, I'm talking about in the group, you are doing a critical component because you're reading your peer, you know, your peers' work, you're reading other students' work, and you're criticizing it. You know, I'm giving my feedback, but you're also giving your feedback. So you're required to read their work and give your critical feedback. That's one thing. But if you simply want to write creative and critical writing, we can do a tailored course of one-on-one for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Wow, Lina, well, I really admire you. Not many teenagers step up asking questions. That's a very good trait. Hats off to you. Thank you, Lina. Great. Okay, any other questions from our students? You will be taking it. I know a lot of students are here. I saw the names. Or parents. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, all good. Any other final thoughts from all three teachers? Go ahead, Mr. Brasuel.
I'm just looking forward to teaching anyone who wants to join my class.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Thompson?
Yes, it will be my pleasure to teach you. I'm looking forward to you registering for my class so that we can have fun.
Okay, that's great. Okay, for all three teachers, so just sum up what we shared your class is there's a reading portion of it. So I just want to making sure, of course, you can teach writing without learn how to read, right? So it's the same as advertised, as promoted, right? You will have a component of reading as well, right? Yes? Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. Okay, and Ms. Miano, final thought?
Yes, I mean, I'm super excited about this opportunity to like meet new people and to, you know, I really love the diversity of ages and writers and backgrounds, and you know, I look forward to reading anything that, you know, anyone wants to put forward, like, you know, any student who is ambitious, and I would like to mentor them and take them through the, you know, a journey that I experienced that was incredible. So yes, you know, reach out to me, whether it's one-on-one or whether you want to join a group. That's great. That would be great.
Yeah, so Ms. Miano for sure is already offering one-on-one classes. She's teaching Shakespeare theater. So if some students want to do a theater projects, so that will be offered as well as one-on-one, and creative writing. So anyway, yeah. So basically, one thing I want to emphasize with my younger son's experience with Mr. Brasuel is that he started to really like English when he was taking classes with you. He wasn't a very, wasn't an avid reader. And under your guidance, under your coaching, he really started to, liking English. So I think, to me, it's not about just the academic side. It's really about the interest that our teachers can cultivate in the younger minds, and that would take a long way. Yeah, and he did write very good essays. Thanks, and his writing was getting better and better.
Right, I'm so touched to hear that. And I do want to piggyback off of something you said. Like my class is very mechanics focused, because there are certain things that if you're entering into high school writing, or if you're entering into college writing, like some of those high schoolers will be, eventually, there are certain things that you just need to learn how to do, and I think like how Miss Thompson was talking about, like, each lesson builds off of each, the one before it, right? So, while it is mechanics focused, we still just have a good time talking about books, and yeah, it was fun to talk about man's inner evil when me and Liam were doing Lord of the Flies. It was it was always it was fun to do. So I try to strike that balance. We've got the mechanics, we've got the like buckle down, we got to learn these things, but we've also got, hey, literature is art, and we need to consider it like it's art and enjoy it and talk about it, all those things.
Yeah,
so just wanted to add that.
Yeah,
and also
go ahead.
Miss Miano's got me wanting to take that creative writing class as well. It sounds really fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted that.
Wait, what's the book? What's the third book or fourth book you're writing right now, Miss Miano?
I'm writing my third novel now. I published 2 novels, and I've published, I've done collaborations with photographers and things like that, and I've published short stories and a lot of journalism. But yes, I'm working on my 3rd novel at the moment.
I see. Wow, that's great. Looking forward to it.
It's great. It's a great experience, but it's, you have to really, you have to put your butt in the seat, and you have to just show up. That's all you have to do, really. It's just, it's like practicing. It's like, music or dance or anything like that. You just have to make sure you're there and do it every day.
Yeah,
I wrote same thing with writing.
Yeah, I wrote my memoir, 400 pages, never published it. It's still,
wow.
But I was putting my butt every day. I finished within 6 months.
That's amazing.
That's right.
You gotta publish it. Yeah.
Not yet.
That's
I'm
incredible.
right now. Yeah,
it's next chapter. It's an ongoing story, right?
Yes, definitely. So, okay, well, it's getting really late, you guys there. You're like 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 9 p.m. over. So,
yeah, I'm 10.
Yeah. So anyway, well, thank you so much. Yeah, thank all the parents and students joining us. Have a great night. Thank you. I'll see you on Haddee, okay?
Bye.
See you on Haddee. Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
Excuse me, Miss Pam.
Yes, I'm here.
I cannot, I cannot open the link of your website.
Oh, the current web, just go on the current one right now and go on to the class. I will show you the 4 programs, because that we are transitioning to the brand new one. Okay, it's just being right now. It's being launched. So
yeah, so that's why I cannot, click that reading at that button. I cannot click that.
Oh, no worry. Just this is the old website. Don't worry.
How about this one? I will check.
Yeah, you can click. Yeah.
Oh, it seems that works.
Yeah, we will. It is going to be the same.
Oh, it works.
It's the same website. It's just we are moving over. The new one will be the new face and the new course catalog and everything. So my engineers are working hard. All of us are working really hard. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay,
we'll tell everybody through email, through WeChat. Hopefully by next Wednesday and Thursday, the latest. So we'll have all the courses set up, and you can book and pay all the schedule. Everything is going to be very cool. Yeah. No manual talking about the time. Everything will be automatic. Yeah. We're high tech.
Okay. Thank you. So I can communicate with you through the WeChat. So
You can always, yeah, if you have questions, you can always, but for purchasing, classes and everything is going to be automatic payment. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Good. We're always there. So anyway, thank you guys. Okay. Have a great night or good morning. Okay. For parents from Asia. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.